Welcome back, boys and girls, to the #1 up-and-coming Valorant podcast on the internet. I am, of course, Astro, aka Coulter Fair. Along with me is my fellow king in the royal castle, Rogan Prescott. Hello, brother.
Hello. What's going on with your hair, man? How are you doing? You're looking a little spicy.
I'm looking a little frazzled, you might say.
Yeah. To be exact.
Yeah, I'm a little frazzled this evening. I think we both are. But here we are, episode number 26. We're going to be talking about the new map, of course. Breeze just dropped today, so that is, of course, on the agenda. And then we also are going to be talking about, I believe, Haven. But I could be wrong because I am in a blender, boys. I am blended.
I think we're going to stick to that. Okay. But let's stick to Haven. Yeah, those two things.
Hey, did anyone get hit by an ad this evening? Did anyone
Big news, huge news. We are currently affiliated by Twitch. So we're making some big moves here. We do have some subscribers already, and we accept donations now for bits, and we are running those ads to the moon.
Let's go! Cybot subscribers!
Let's go! Lingo and Grape Jelly are also subscribed, so thank you guys. Welcome to the fold.
Dude,
let's go. We have some great emojis. It's a peasant emoji that we can call our peasants, and they will respond instantly. It's quite nice. You guys need to get in here. Flow_state_gaming on Twitch. Get here live at 7 p.m. on Tuesdays. And get scanned by the ads because we're running them every 30 seconds. So you'll probably just be listening to our voices and not be able to hear.
Dude, get stream. Absolutely scammed, dude.
Yeah.
Get scammed.
Obviously subscribe as well. Because yeah.
The heat has been turned up in here, dude. So yeah, if there's ever a time that you should be live, it's now, because it's getting hot and heavy in here, and we just don't know what's gonna happen next. Dude,
hot drinks, buddy.
I look like such an idiot.
Well, yeah.
Okay, hot drinks. Guys, big switch up here. Like I said, we came in, as you can see, we started the podcast about 3 minutes late, something like that, 4 minutes late. I'm not sure. It doesn't matter. The reason is because we were tied up with some other matters before the pod. And so I didn't have time to make a hot drink. So what we're seeing here is a venti hot flat white, 4 pumps white mocha decaf. So it is what it is. I got scammed for another $5, but thankfully you guys are fronting that cash through subs and donations. So this might be more of a regular experience. I can have a nice white mocha, instead of my nasty DPPR. So that's my hot drink.
Nice, Coulter.
What do you got going on?
Well, dude, I was on the verge of honestly throwing up right before this podcast because I had something for lunch that it did not sit well at all. So
what'd you have for lunch?
I had a hamburger, and I think the meat may have been uncooked.
Oh.
Yeah. So we don't know what's going on there. Let's just say a blowout from the other end.
A reverse blowout?
Yeah, not from the normal end. So I honestly threw this together so quick, man. I just dumped some white chocolate powder that I just got, and I put 3 shots in here. So obviously they taste absolute garbage, but it's just a hot drink that I can include.
Is it still coming out like charcoal?
Yeah, that has not been changed. So
maybe you should it's too bad that you didn't know a two-time employee of the year Starbucks employee to come help you out. You know,
Well,
too bad that you don't know anyone that has such expertise in the field. But maybe that's for another day. Do you have any dude, I am just frazzled right now. Do you have any announcements, dude? How
Coulter,
was your week?
you look like a straight scammer, like the person who just sits on their butt all day and just is on the
Dude,
phone call asking for people's insurance.
dude, what I feel like is I feel like I'm 12 again. Every time I look at myself, I'm 12 years old. I have this dumb visor on. I don't know. It's probably TOS because it's Jamba Juice. If you didn't notice, Jamba, we are Jamba, we are accepting any type of partnership at this time. Fred in the chat, Cybot, for those of you who don't know, get here live. You look like a shady phone case seller. Guys, I am looking like trash in the chat. I look pale, not not I'm not myself tonight, dude. I'm not myself. So do you have any announcements, dude? What's going on this week?
um, Dude, nothing crazy. I Right before the act wipe, I managed to get to plat 3, back up to plat 3. So I'm glad that I can say I'm still hard stuck plat 3 instead of being plat 2. I kind of want to stay where I've been at. So,
Yeah.
new map. Like Coulter and I were late, and we were late because we had to play the new map. We had to play Breeze. We had to test it out because
Yes.
we haven't had time to test it out today. So we ran a few matches, and that was quite exciting. I really did enjoy that. We're gonna get to our first thoughts on Breeze here. We want to hear the fellow peasants that are with us live hear your guys' thoughts as well. Because I mean, it's a big change. It's a new map. It's a new feel for the game, and it's interesting. It's gonna be exciting. So that's it for the announcements. There's just a lot of action going on with time. I'm not finding the time to get things done,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we both struggle on that. So eventually, I will be adding some more peasant emojis in the chat and graphics, because I'm looking at this guy and he looks pretty pale and gnarly. I've realized that we've had him for a long time.
Well, he's kind of like our mascot, but yeah, we probably should get multiracial just to.
Well, and that's what I was saying.
It's like we're
And
basically
possibly
forcing
multiple
people.
genders. Yeah.
We're kind of forcing people to be white males, which does appear to be our audience. Although we've had some followers of the female gender jumping into the chat, which does kind of change things a little bit. I mean, not in a bad way at all. I'm excited to have some female presence in here, and I want to see how that blossoms because I think as of late we have been fairly male dominant. So it's so great to have some women in here, and maybe they should have a choice on what kind of a peasant they are.
Yeah, yeah. I don't want to get banned. I think that's
Yeah,
where I'm at.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Coulter, do you have any announcements, man? How did your
Um,
hair become the way it is?
I wanted to toss it up. I wanted to mix things up a little bit. I was and I just ran out of time. This is what I was wearing when we were playing on the new map. Um, I said I'm not going to have time for a hot drink, and you said you have to have a hot drink. Go to Starbucks now. So that's what I did. Um, and this is the result, right?
If
I
you
look
if
like
you ran this
trash.
podcast without a hot drink, I think we would end it there. Yeah, I
Well,
don't
I
think it
know.
could
I
happen.
feel like I don't think so either. And so this is kind of just the result of a massive sense of underprepared, kind of representing itself in the fashion of what I look like. I mean, it's not great, but Again, there is an unreasonable amount of people that just listen on their favorite podcast app and they don't see me live. So until they change it, it doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, we have kids on here saying I look like a GNC clerk. I mean, it's just ravaged. So thankfully, 90% of the audience does not watch live, even though they should. Um, but we'll get through this week and come back stronger next week, I think.
Well,
um,
who knows what next week would
yeah,
give you
well,
if you're going down the road you are.
yeah, I don't want to see the result of what that looks like. Um, but as far as Valorant goes, not much news. Um, we played the new map, which is nice. I mean, I'm surprised that we even got that done. So that was good. But apart from that, I mean, I ranked up into gold 2, I think, again. I'm kind of excited to do my placements. I'm not sure. Is there like, does the game let you go past your previous rank? Because I know that was, an issue before, but that'll be interesting to see what I get placed into. Hey, maybe I'll get placed into silver 3 like last time, dude. Maybe that's what'll happen. So who knows? We'll just have to see on that.
I mean, I was also watching a lot of videos on pro play, just looking at what people have to say, like different things they're doing.
Uh-huh.
Definitely learned some interesting things. Astra's being played a little bit more, I feel like, I've been listening to people use Astra, and I think we were kind of right on that she's gonna require a lot of team play to be used correctly, but she's pretty effective as smokes go and stuff, which is cool because I haven't really heard anything about her. I think like I still don't really know the place that she has. I think we both
Yeah.
feel that way.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to hear that she's being a part of the game a little bit more.
Yeah, that's huge, man. That's really good to see. One thing I did forget in the announcement section, um, and I come here in a somber mood. I don't want to. Rogan doesn't even know what I'm going to present here, and it's hard for me to even look at the camera right now.
Wait, Coulter, you dirty boy.
What?
You said you had something to say.
I know,
And you didn't tell me. I tried to get it out of you, but you held strong. Why?
I know, because I have diamond hands.
What's going on, dude?
Hands.
Talk to me. Are you out?
No, of course not. Of course I'm not out. I think I've come to a stage in my career and in my life. I gave Yoru a good shot.
Shoot.
I don't know how to word this. I've been playing a bit of Reina. I didn't want this to come out like this. I wanted to message you all privately so it didn't hit this hard. But I mean, I think maybe the best way to handle this is just to come out and say it. In the chat, yeah, tension has been building over the last bit. There's been some tension between me and Yoru, little touch and go, little tongue in cheek. And I think I made the executive decision to go ahead and move on from that chapter of my life. Um, and this is embarrassing because I mean I made a stance for Yoru. I said I was in it till the end. I said I had diamond hands with Yoru. Um, and I think I'm gonna have to bail on that ship. That the the promised land of getting into platinum with Yoru. I think that ship has sailed for me, and I'm drawing this out as long as possible just to avoid the agent that I've moved to. But I think I am an insta-lock Reina
You're such a scum.
at this point.
Why are you, Coulter? Why?
Rogan,
You are an insta-lock jet, which is beyond garbage, because there's always an insta-lock jet.
I
And you
know.
go to Euro, which is all right, but he's pretty much throwing the entire match at that point.
I
And
know.
now you're going Reyna, which is the equivalent to Jet.
I know, Rogan. That's
Are
what I'm
are
saying.
you are you gonna go Sky? Huh? In the chat?
I mean,
Are you trying to sink me in any deeper?
I think I stick Reina here. I think I stick Reina here. I know I said it in the past and I'll say it again. I think this is the one. It's tough, dude. I like the thing about it is like, okay, I was just listening to a pro player do a whole 15-minute section on it this afternoon. Yoru requires a ton of teamwork to get any value whatsoever. He just does. Like in comparison to other duelists. I mean, like, and I know we beat this into the ground. It's just he's hard to use, man. He's hard to use in ranked when no one has a mic. Everyone's cussing you out because you teleported and they just sniped you. It's just there's so much. So I've laid down that sword and I've picked up the Reyna. Um,
So
and that's all. I
so
think I think we should
I
move on.
actually I agree with you real quick. Reyna is a great character to rise the ranks, guys, because of how self sufficient she is, and she is able to heal. She doesn't require team play as much, and she's very consistent. Like Yuru, Coulter, and I always talked about, like if you're doing that TP, you are always taking a chance if someone is waiting for you, and you never know if it's 100% of the time that it's going to work. But Reyna, you get a kill, you know you can heal, you know you can dismiss. You have two options, you know. It's like you know that blind is either gonna blind them completely if they don't shoot it out, or they're gonna shoot it out and you're gonna know someone's there. I think she's a very consistent person.
Yeah.
Which I think for you, Coulter, I think it's a better play. Because like you said, there's zero team play where you're at. And where really anyone is at right now, unless you're in an org.
Yeah, man. It sucks to like get to this point. It's just like me and Eric were playing ranked. He was playing Viper. I was playing Yoru. And then it like came to this point where we just said, you know what, screw it. Like we're tired of losing. He went Jet, I went Reyna, and we instantly win. We instantly just start clapping cheeks. Like he goes 30-5, and then I had a way better score. Like, I don't know. But you know what? We got a lot to talk about, dude. So we should probably move on. I just wanted to get that out of the way, because it is kind of a touchy subject. So, um, a new act, guys. Rogan, quick thoughts in the chat. What do you think of the new battle pass, dude? Do you like it? What are your first impressions on it?
I like it, guys. Best battle pass, I think, hands down. The knife is very cool compared to other battle passes, and all the gun skins are looking great. I think there's no gnarly colors showing on any skins that we it's something the battle pass Coulter hasn't really wanted to buy anyone, right? Nothing has really stood out to you completely. And like guys,
Yeah,
I have like a Vandal skin, I have a Phantom skin. Why do I want to buy a battle pass if it's just a dog water skin? You
yeah.
know? I like
Absolute macaroni
so
water.
with this battle pass, I think I'm excited. Like I actually want to use these skins. They look really good. So I think battle pass S tier. What are your thoughts,
Yeah,
Coulter?
yeah. No, just I resonate with you. I think it's better than most, and I will probably be buying it. Um, hey, Doji has joined the kingdom. Let's go, Doji. Welcome, brother. Good to see you, man. I'm glad you're here. But yeah, dude, I think that the battle pass is a good one. So, um, and the new Reaver, not the Reaver, the new skin pack, whatever
Guys,
that is.
if you don't want to buy a skin, if you don't want to spend that money, but you do enjoy skins, just get the battle pass. Super good price. For how many skins you're getting. You're getting a lot.
Yeah,
You're getting a lot.
the Forsaken pack. That's what I'm trying to get at. Um, Do you like that the skin pack, the most recent one?
Yeah. It looks. I personally like it.
Yeah.
It looks really similar to what's that one?
It's the
I always forget. So Sovereign, no,
yeah, Sovereign.
one of them, but it does look very similar to that. The finisher guys, I think the finisher is pretty pretty nice, and they look pretty clean. So I personally will not buy this, but I definitely think it's a decent skin. Are you gonna drop the cash, Coulter?
Yeah.
I know your bank account is hurting pretty hard with the skins that you have bought.
I mean, yeah, I've bought too many at this point. I don't think I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna appreciate it. I'm gonna pick it up off the floor when I see it. Lingo bought the Vandal in the Classic. He's a he's a savage boy, and he does stuff like this often. I'm not in the same position as him. I think when Lingo dies, I'm gonna go ahead and pick it up because I do really like these skins, but I don't think that I'm gonna drop that cash. Lingo in the chat, it's not the foreskin pack, brother. I think you were confused there.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's on the verge of maybe yeah, anyways. Dude, community feedback. We're gonna dive into the new map. I mean, we know that the new map is on the horizon, so we're trying to chip away at it. No one likes our announcement sections. We know it. Um, so dude, community feedback. What do we got? I think we have an Instagram message. You want to cover that?
Yeah. Well, dude, this is okay. I don't know what you peasants are doing, but you guys are waiting for the last day to act. Because without this message, you guys would have been held hostage again.
Yep. But somebody pulled through one more time.
Another, yeah. And it's the only the only one we got, so you guys should be lucky.
Yeah.
And okay, guys, I think we're getting to the point where our roster for models in the Flow State Gaming is is almost too much for me to handle. There's just the straight models now. I don't even know if I should call them gamers. They would have a better career in modeling than gaming. That's all I have to say. Uh, Gunner with an X for the U. Yo, what is up, boys? Love the podcast and all the Valorant content. Got a couple questions to possibly spark a convo. We're going to go through these as we read the message here. Do you think Breeze is going to be a nice change from the close corner, tighter map concept? Or is it too open? Coulter, what do you think?
Well, I think that Breeze is a great addition. I think it's a great addition to the. It just feels so much different, and I think that that's nice. I think it's gonna promote a different style of gameplay. I think that certain weapons are gonna stand out apart from others. Weapons that we haven't seen much use coming out of, I think are gonna find a place on the map. So for that reason, I do like um, this bigger, more open map concept coming into the game.
Yeah, I also think it's going to be I like how it's open because like guys, you can clear that entire area if you look at it. It's not like, oh, they're too far away, I can't shoot at them. Like you can clear that entire area, so even when it is open like that, it almost makes it feel more comfortable. I think we're going to get into it more. I just wanted to hear your first thoughts. But second
Yep.
question, any bite-sized tips for new PC players? Have a couple friends who recently started gaming on PC and are showing interest in Valorant. Where should they start in terms of learning keyboard, mouse, map layouts, abilities, etc.?
Go to our episode titled "Peeking and Aiming."
Peeking and aiming, and then aiming and game sense, and also the Valorant starter pack, or some. We have 3 episodes that explain it really well. But mouse and aim, guys, it comes with just time. I think it's hard to Coulter, can you just give your like quick thoughts on when you transitioned?
Any tips for new PC players? Honestly, I
Because
personally think that Valorant is probably one of the easiest games that you can actually learn my mouse and keyboard on. I think jumping into a game like I played, um, man, I don't know, a few weeks of Fortnite when I first got my PC. Like I played a few rounds, and I almost feel like that was more beneficial more beneficial for me to actually learning keyboard because there's more keys to press. Like in this game, it's super easy to learn keyboard and mouse just because like there's not very much going on with your keyboard hand, and then the mouse is just super self-explanatory. Like that's just what you're aiming with, right? So I would think that if your friends are looking to jump into Valorant, I mean, yeah, for sure, just get them right in. I don't think there'd
It
be any reason to be scared of it at all. Like
it
out of
might be a
every game, this
little
would be the easiest.
aggravating because I mean you do die instantly, so like you're gonna be getting clapped no matter what.
Hmm.
But I know my girlfriend. I got her a PC. She's never even touched like a computer before, and she started with Valorant, and she's like really good now. She has the aim down. I think it gets down your aim pretty quickly because you
Yeah.
have to have aim. So it's gonna make you like stay patient and watch for those. In the chat, practice range and aim lab for me. Definitely. So I think it's just like Valorant it's a very simple like laid out game. So I think you just have to power through that first struggle on dying no matter what. So just like
Yep.
keep on motivating whoever your friends are and keep them in Valorant, and eventually I think they'll start enjoying it more and more. I think because I
Yeah.
think the first getting into it is hard. I think.
And then, so I mean, that's the keyboard and mouse, and then map layouts. Like, dude, that's just going to be with time, right? Like any other game, any other shooter. Like, what do you do when you first jump into Call of Duty? It's like you're gonna have to learn those maps for the first 7 matches on that map. You're gonna get destroyed, and you're gonna be like, oh shoot, I didn't know somebody could be in that corner. Like that was happening today when we were playing Breeze. I'm like, oh shoot, I didn't know that someone could come out from there, and that's just like gonna happen. I mean, just tell your friends to play a bunch of unrated, go into custom games and just kind of walk through the map and then jump into unrated, and start playing. I mean, that's the only way that you're going to learn the maps really there. And then the abilities, I mean, there's endless amounts of videos on, tell your friends to pick an agent. Who do they like the look of? Pick that agent, watch 7 YouTube videos on it, and away
And
you go.
stick to it.
So,
Yeah, practice
you
range for
know,
abilities is huge too. Throw them in the
yeah,
practice range for like 15 minutes even. Let them just
dude.
screw around, and I think they'll get that pretty easily.
Yeah, they just got to dive in, I feel like.
In the chat, crosshair placement is Doge. Oh my gosh!
Let's go!
Dogie
Dogie! Ah!
has subscribed. Thank you, sir.
Dogie, subscribe with that Prime.
Welcome to the
Thank you,
kingdom.
brother.
Crosshair placement is 50% of it. Cybot in the chat. Yes, crosshair placement is really big. I think that definitely brings out the iron players or the bronze players compared to the iron players, the brand new boys. That's gonna like excel you ahead. Definitely focus on just keeping that crosshair where the enemy's gonna be, and that goes with any game too. People don't really think of it. It's Call of Duty. It's any game that you guys play, Fortnite, whatever. Crosshair placement. Don't aim at the ground because they're not gonna be there.
Yeah.
So continuing on the message, that sums it up for questions, but I'll spread the word to other peasants from outside the kingdom about this. Great pod. Have a good one, guys. Thank you.
Wow.
I think this is it's a beautiful message. It really shines.
Yeah.
And like I said, the man, he's looking good. He's looking real
Dude,
good.
I'm scrolling through his Instagram right now, and it's hard to even call this person a boy because he's a man. I mean, he is a man, dude. I don't know where we find these guys. Oh,
Yeah,
I mean, just a babe, dude.
it's filthy.
It's so filthy. Anyways,
And every peasant should be spreading to as many people as they possibly can.
yeah,
Like, guys, this is a cult. Once you come in, you can't get out. So we expect you to do the work.
yeah.
That's all I have to say.
It's like Eric that Eric, he was practicing some lineups on the new map, and we forced him into submission, and he sent us that video, which we'll share with you guys via TikTok or whatever else. It's like we need you guys to do all the groundwork, and we will just distribute the bread evenly among you, and that's how I think this is going to work. So um I checked the Apple reviews, absolutely not one. So that's an awful, awful thing to see. But I think we should move on to topic number one here, brother. We're gonna just what is that? What is that kid
I don't
behind
know,
you,
dude.
dude?
The live experience is just a whole nother level. You got my
Dude,
brother
what?
coming in butt naked on the podcast,
Oh my
about to get us
goodness,
banned. I
dude.
mean, it's scary. It's
Well, at
scary in
least your
here.
camera couldn't be blurrier, right? At least your
Well,
camera
I
couldn't be
don't know
more
what's going on.
unfocused.
It is a
I
sweat
know you.
house in here, dude. I am
you
dripping sweat. Oh my gosh.
Dude, your brother's just stripping in the background.
Well, I know. Well, he did that on purpose, right?
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Well, of course he did. He's probably flopping around back there.
Well,
Okay, we got
dude, what in the
guys.
nut is going
Number one
on?
upcoming Valorant podcast on the internet. Topic number one here, dude. We're gonna go into
Oh my gosh.
any helicopters in the chat.
All right.
Breeze. So Rogan, we played a total of 3 matches. 2 of those ended in surrender. But we did get a little taste of attacking and defending on the new map. Hit me with your first thoughts. I know we already kind of touched it, but I think we need to grab a hold of it here and give it a good squeeze.
Yeah. I think so, guys. Like I think the map. It's very there's not two extremes like Icebox. You don't have like really tight angles on one site and then really long angles on the other. I think the map on both sites, it's pretty open, and you only have like these certain areas that you have to clear, certain areas that can be. I haven't spent much time in it, but it just seems very consistent throughout the map. Every angle, every spot has a long angle you can peek from, in my opinion. Like, and then there's always some obstacles that you can use that are kind of like, not there's just not a bunch of different random boxes that feel out of place. I think everything is placed well, in my opinion. It feels nice. Um, Coulter, I think we only played 3 matches. 2 of those matches people surrendered at, so we didn't get too much time at all. But
Yeah.
in the time that I played, I personally really did enjoy it. And I really like how they are making every map different. This map feels completely different. It doesn't feel like Icebox, doesn't feel like any other map, which I enjoy. It's a whole nother experience. Every corridor is wide, I think, except for like a couple places. But every area is very wide. I don't really feel like I'm stuck by like I'm not getting body blocked all the time by another teammate.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
I think the flank potential and lurking potential seems to me it might be pretty crazy. I know Coulter and I were getting flanked pretty easily. They were able to get in our spawn pretty quickly if you're not watching all angles. Granted, this was unrated, so people were kind of not really knowing what's going on. We didn't really get
Right.
the full experience of it. Coulter, what are your first thoughts?
I think, yeah, it's hard for me to really have a full fleshed out opinion of the map just because, like you said, it was unrated and, was maximum 40 to 55 minutes, on the map itself. I think, like you said, one of the standout things was that flank potential is massive. It feels like mid is important. Eric kind of mentioned that as well. He was playing it all day, and I do agree. It's like if you don't have mid, then your enemy has a lot of freedom to kind of be anywhere. And there's all these boxes and little walls and crannies that we're all gonna have to get used to checking. There's just a lot of moments where I just didn't check a certain
Yeah.
little niche in the wall, and somebody was tucked away in there. So I don't know, where all of those really land. I think that, like we were saying, I think the Vandal finds a place here. Basically, anything long range. If you take a look at mid, I mean, it's just like you said, wide open. There's going to be a lot of opportunities for the Vandal or Guardian, things of that nature. I think the Op is going to have a place on this map, especially when you're looking at B. I mean, A as well, but there's kind of more shrapnel in your way to look through on A. But B is pretty wide open for the defending side to have an Op there or attacker. But it felt there was a Jet on the defending side in our game that really could just lock B down fairly well by herself, and then with smokes and whatnot, B kind of seemed a little hard to I don't know. B is interesting. Out of the two sites, I kind of felt like I gravitated towards A a little more. I don't know why. Um, but I'm just gonna have to spend more time on the map. Like I don't know. B seems really cool. There's that weird kind of standalone wall, um, that people can play around, and then the backside of B is interesting too. So, I like the
Yeah.
map though. I like the map. I think that mid section with like the hatch that goes down, and then that big door that you can open, and then mid just goes like straight into their spawn.
I think
Like
I
if you
think
can,
mid's pretty important. It gives you access to the
yeah,
entire map in a way of Ascent. Ascent kind of does the same thing.
yeah,
Thinking about it,
exactly.
both sites they don't have a heaven. There's no heaven to them.
True.
There's no
Yeah,
area that overlooks the entire site. It's more of like a
yeah,
it's kind of like spread out, I would say, and laid out. Instead of having like these tight areas, they're kind of like just spreading out the site, like spreading out split or whatever, getting rid of
yeah.
the verticality.
Dude, not much verticality on the map,
There's obviously boxes that but that's like
but not in
yeah,
comparison to what we've been seeing. You're very, very right on that.
which is nice because then we can expect where people will be. It's not like they can play every tiny little angle and get like a head glitch spot that you don't even see them and they're still like, wrecking you. So I
Yeah.
think that's pretty nice. Um yeah, and I also think we're gonna see a change of meta. Like the operator, I think it's just gonna be played a lot more on this map. And then Viper and lineups, like we've just been seeing a ton of lineups already. Two
Yeah.
maps, dude. One of the games that we played,
I
two people
know.
knew lineups for every site, guys.
For
That's
Sova,
insane.
Sova and Viper, dude.
Yeah. Well, we had the rat Eric with us, obviously. Madras,
But
Oregon, 21-year-old white
yeah,
male.
recently married, soon divorced.
Okay.
Oh shoot. That's a topic for another day.
Okay.
Um yeah, no, lineups are going to be, I think, insane. They're insane already, but I feel like there's been a wave of TikTokers that have been gaining a lot of traction because almost every game I jump into now, there's some, kids out there with their lineups ready to go. So I think that's just going to be a part of our lives.
If you're a Sova main,
Um,
look up Average Jonas if you want to know lineups. He's an animal.
yeah,
I know he spent 3 days on this map trying to figure out every lineup.
dude, it's just bizarre.
But yeah, I think, dude, Viper's wall is really substantial now because this map's so open. It's going to be used a lot more. I think way more effectively. I think we're just going to see a change in agents. Cypher, I don't think we're going to see him at all. Not much. I think he'll still be played, but like his trips won't aren't or his cages. Like his cages aren't going to be everything. It's like a Viper's wall is going to be way more beneficial than probably anyone's smokes.
Yeah,
I don't know how it's going to be changed. Like, obviously, agents will be good on every map. They can be played on every map, but I think Jet's going to excel on this map for sure.
yeah, yeah,
But
definitely.
I think we're going to see a change. Killjoy's turret, dude. That turret can see it's just insane how it just shoots across the entire map.
Yeah,
Such a good use of information, and I think on this map it's going to be extremely good. Those are
yeah,
kind of my thoughts on it. Yeah. I'm excited to see what I think next week. It's funny because Icebox, I still don't know like a single call out, or I barely know all the call outs.
I know.
And now knowing
Yeah,
like getting this map, it's like, holy cow, how am I going to learn
I
this
know.
one?
It's just doors spawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I felt out there. Overall, I mean, what would you out of 10 on a first impression scale? Then now, we're gonna go back on these ratings once we actually know the map, but like first impression scale, I would probably give it I mean, this is just in the wind 7 out of 10. For my very first 3 games, I'd probably put it somewhere in there. What would you put it at?
I think I'm right with you, man. Maybe 8 out of 10.
Yeah. It seems very good. It seems above it, like I like it better than multiple maps in the game already, so I'm down with it.
Yeah. I think it's over Icebox, definitely for me. I think it
It's just
outclasses
interesting,
Icebox.
like I think so too, just in both like art design as well as just layout. But I mean, even like Bind, man, and I know Bind is a great map, but like think of attacking bind B on Bind compared to Breeze. I mean, what a different situation you got going on. And that's what I'm excited about, is
Yeah.
just how different this map is going to play. So excited to play it. Any other thoughts there? I did take a glance at the patch notes, but I mean, you called me around 4 o'clock and said that the Riot devs kind of shafted us on any updates.
Yeah, they did kind of ram us. I think that's another reason why we didn't really know exactly what to talk about this episode, because
We
I
were
was
kinda
expecting
banking on this.
expecting a big one.
Yeah, I was
Like
kind of banking on this myself. I was
new
kind of farting
agent, new
around all
map.
week.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
exactly. I was kind of slacking off this week, thinking, "Hey, we're just gonna get blessed with the biggest patch of all time," and
I
then
know.
we come in here and we've heard your request. Weapon drop sounds have been added to HRTF.
Yeah.
like, is that our biggest update of the patch?
Is that what we're seeing here? Obviously new map.
So
They added a breeze only unrated queue, like a game mode. So
yeah,
it's just an unrated on breeze, which I really like this, because like when Icebox comes out, you want to play the map in unrated, but you can't choose it. You have to just hope that it's Icebox, and then they make it more often to play in unrated, which is just like you don't, sometimes you don't want to play the map. So like with this, if you want to play breeze, you can queue in to breeze specifically and get to know the map before you go into competitive, which I think
yeah,
is really nice, because it's in competitive right now, and you want to know the call. You want to know at least something about the map before you're running into it dry.
yeah.
Any type of information is gonna be very beneficial. So maybe like running a couple games on here, I think it's gonna help out a lot. So just be aware of that if you want to
Yeah.
if you want to
Yeah,
know.
be aware that it is currently in competitive. So I mean, it's just brilliant that they have a breeze only playlist. I mean, that's a no brainer.
Yeah, for sure. Coach slots were added. It doesn't matter to me. It's just a different
Do you not
slot.
have a coach
So
or
coach
what?
is, well, I don't need one because I'm filthy. I'm absolutely a filthy hard stuck plat 3 player. You
Yeah,
can't get
it's
anywhere and
disgusting.
gets carried by people. I know. Oh, dude, quick announcement. Guys, I lowered my sensitivity again. I did feel a little bit jerky going down. So I lowered her down again, and she's feeling a little bit better. I think it just comes with little precisions like that, just finding the right sense, and that's what I'm trying to do here. Very
Nice.
off topic. Just want to let you know. Dude, that's it for. Okay, guys, that is it for the updates. Like, what is this? Why
Yeah,
didn't they
there's
just
nothing
release?
else.
Why didn't they just release Breeze without a patch?
Yeah, not much going on. I mean, some bug fixes, competitive bug fixes. Um, Man, yeah, I mean, social updates, not much to say there. Um, just you can report kids easier. It looks like keep reporting competitive updates. I mean, dude, there's nothing here.
Yeah, but that's it for the patch, guys. Patch
Yeah,
2.08. Hopefully, next patch we'll see something bigger. Possibly a new agent, man. Who knows? Who knows? They might
yeah.
do us one before the next before this act is over.
Not really sure what the timeline is on the next agent. Like, I can't keep track of where they're at timeline wise. But
Uh-huh. So we kind of like, let's take a blast in the past. When they came out with Icebox, they came out with Sky at the exact same time. And there was a lot of bugs going on. They had to reverse it. So
oh yeah, I kind of remember that. I forgot about that though.
yeah, so I guess this might be a good thing. We might be able to see Breeze a little bit more, and it'll be more balanced. I think we're gonna see that, less bugs, which is obviously their kind of goal, is just to keep the bugs out of the game. Instead of
Yeah.
an Omen shooting you underneath the map and killing you across the entire map.
Instead of a
That's never
cipher
fun.
cam blasting you with a judge.
Yeah.
Those were the
I've
days.
seen I've seen that. Well, guys, let's move on, Coulter, to Haven. That's going to be our topic this episode.
Dude, are
We
we
haven't-
getting into the meat of this episode
Yeah,
here?
we're getting into the meat a little early on, I would say.
Ah,
45 minutes in, we're getting into the main episode here.
well, I feel underprepared to say the least here, but I think that
Well, you look more underprepared, so
yeah.
I'm
Hmm.
glad you're feeling a little bit better.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Haven. Do you like the map? What are your first thoughts on Haven here?
Haven, I like it. It's not like a map that I hate. I think it's in the mediocre range. I don't hate it. I don't love it. Three sites stand out a lot. I think that's the one thing that I think of. You have A, B, and C. Um, I dude for some reason I never really push B. I never really push B site. I'm not sure
Yeah.
why that is, but it never it always seems like I'm right in the middle of the open, just getting rammed from all sides. Haven
Yeah.
guys, it's man, there's a lot of things on Haven that there's a lot of flank potential, and when you're on defending, pushing out is really good. Getting map control is very important. You can get good flanks. Being able to push through mid to garage is really useful. I think you definitely need someone on flank more often. Having a turret there or having trips is very useful. I think you're able to flank and get a kill early on. Like you're able to see them sooner or get
Hmm.
behind them quicker than you think. I think that's what usually gets me. Um, what are your first thoughts, man? Talk to me.
Yeah, yeah, I like the three sites. I prefer Haven over, multiple other maps. So I'm excited when it pops up as the match that we're playing. Like you, I think watching the flank in some way is crucial just because it can really screw you over. I think rotating kind of it feels good. It does feel I don't know if long is the right word. It just feels like it does take some time to rotate, which I think is part of the reason that I find myself straying away from B as well, because you're kind of putting the enemy on the back foot if you hit A quickly or C, they gotta traverse the entire map that way. But I mean overall I think it's a super well balanced map. Do you want to break it down into attacking and defending like we have in the past, or
Yeah,
what are you
yeah, yeah.
thinking? What are you thinking about doing? Do you want to do attacking first?
Yeah, let's do attacking first. We're gonna start with A site. Attacking on A, you have two options. You can go A short or A long. If you're going A long, I recommend throwing at least like two guys A short. Oftentimes, if you push A long and you push onto site, people from A short are going to be able to get a kill on you. Someone is usually playing there. So if you're not clearing that, they're able to get a dirty angle on you. At least just making sure that's cleared. Sova dart or whatnot, just pushing them out of A short and then pushing on A long possibly is very good. Someone on defending will always be watching A long usually. They're usually always there, sometimes with an op as well. So when you are committing to a long, be sure to jump peek that, flash that out, or just get them away from that peak. A big thing is that I would say almost every round, if you're able to smoke off a long when you're attacking, to smoke off this angle so someone from a long defending can't see you pushing down to a short. When you smoke that, they can't see that, and that's just gonna pretty much mess with their mind, being like, okay, is someone a short or are they not? And then it gives you that advantage to push out of that smoke, flash out of that smoke, and then give your team more time to push. It's like a quicker push. And also, even if you're not going a long, smoke that. It's gonna block info from that person defending. Because if someone's looking down a long, they see someone go a short, they know someone's gonna be there. If a smoke's there, they're gonna be unsure. Committing onto a long, you have that orb down. It is more of like a defender sided orb, but that orb is also it's very easy to take. So try to farm that orb as much as you can as well. And then once you commit onto site, heaven is a really big spot to smoke off. You want to smoke heaven. When I play Omen, I'll be smoking CT and heaven almost all the time. Those are two beneficial smokes I have. And then for Sage, you can also wall Heaven and wall CT. If you jump with Sage, you can wall all off of Heaven, which is useful too. Nading Backsight is also good. Some people play Hell, which is it's kind of deep in there. They can get a pick usually and get a trade, which just watch out for that. Try to use your util on this. There's spots that people can be that they can't really have much escape from. And just dealing as much damage as you possibly can with that is useful. There's a lot of little cubbies that people play. If you're going A short, there's a lot of cubbies in there that you can even just throw a molly and it's going to kill them, or just push them out of there really quickly and you can get an easy kill on that. I'm kind of rambling a lot, but I don't really know the exact way to approach it because there's a lot of different things you can do on A. Coulter, do you know of anything that I missed?
No, yeah, it's always hard to know. Like it just depends so much on your team comp and everything. But yeah, I mean Heaven is a really big point of contention that you want to take care of. Like again, you want to smoke Heaven. There's most likely going to be a player there, whether he's defending site from there to begin with, or someone that has rotated from C or B. They're gonna go into Heaven. There's no doubt about it. That will be in the question. So I like what you said about that player on A long. Someone's always going to be peeking A long, pretty much 100% of the time. So, like Rogan said, flash it, smoke it, do whatever you need to do to take some information away that way. I agree. Going into sewers or A short, as they say, I would send two players down there as well. I mean, you want to be able to trade in there, and sometimes there's a defender in there with a judge, and it's a nasty place for a shotgun because everything's so tight in there. So you're going to want to send two guys down there, like Rogan said, to be able to trade that player out if that is, going to be the case. And then you're going to kind of want to time it as best as you can. Again, I know people don't have mics, etc. But if you're kind of exploding onto the site out of A short and you can coordinate that with your A long players, sometimes if the enemy doesn't really know what's going on, they can get caught in the middle. Like if they're playing in the middle of site and you're coming from both short and long, you and your teammates are going to be able to cover yourselves and trade each other out. Always just watch the tight right if you're coming from A long. Oftentimes, there's a player there. Um, Cypher can really mess up some A pushes because it's just hallways that you have to go through both on long and short. Like you can't really get through his trips if he hasn't planted there without letting him know that you're there. So be aware of that. But I think you pretty much covered it on attacking. I kind of like to go aggressive if we take the site without any problems. Like if we roll through there, kill one or two players. Sometimes it's helpful to go aggressive here and try and get into Heaven yourself, or if you're a character with mobility, raise jet, etc., and you can dash it up into Heaven, updraft up there, satchel your way in. Um, that kind of can throw the enemy off a little bit. So I think going aggressive after a site take is sometimes beneficial, but that would kind of be the only advice I have. Like Rogan said, there's tons of crannies. Like I would honestly be careful of playing in hell if you're uh, a post plant attacker, because like Rogan said, one nade into hell is going to wreck you. There's nothing you're going to be able to do. So be aware of stuff like that unless you're a character with mobility, Reina, or so forth.
Yeah, there's no place to hide behind in Hell. You're kind of exposed no matter what. There's
Yeah,
nothing blocking that. So even
like you're
like a
gonna get one
Sylvadar
kill,
is gonna
maybe.
push you out. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
very hard to get any more out of that.
yeah,
So definitely watch out for that. A short guys, I think it's a spot very well known for someone to hide in that left tight corner with a judge, or with some type of submachine gun that you can get that player will sometimes get two picks there because someone doesn't check it,
yeah.
or they can even
It's
check it just swinging out there. If there's a guy with a judge and he kills the person that you're trying to swing with, or your teammate, if you're swinging that again, you're gonna die most likely because he has such a close angle on you and there's not much space that you can get. So I recommend just don't swing out again. Use util to kill him or get him out, because I think it's a very dangerous spot to lose two of your guys there.
yeah,
At least just try to get a trade. If not, just throw some util there and get them out, because you probably don't want to push that. I think I've died many times by that. It's very unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah. That kind of sums it up on my thoughts for A. I mean, like we said, there's a lot of ways you can do it, but maybe that gives you some things to think about. Do you want to move on to C next,
Yeah, yeah, we can just see.
and then we can do B last? So
Yeah,
why don't you kick us off on C?
yeah. I'll cover C long. I personally don't push C too much. I'll be usually going through garage, but sometimes swinging out a C long can give you a pick. Sometimes if you're swinging out there with a buddy, and someone's watching that, you can usually get a kill or a trade. And getting trades is what we want, boys. That's what we live for. Um, when I swing C long and I see somebody on C site on that left corner, there's no way they can get across without me seeing him. So I've been playing Raze, and what I'll do, I'll just tell my Sage, hey, slow or back left. I'll nade it. It's usually an instant kill if I know someone's back there. Um, and then I would always throw your nade or throw something in that back left area, and there's not much of an escape there. You can clear that area out quite easily, and some people do play there that can get picks on you guys. Also, operators are a Jet lives on a C. She thrives on C,
Yeah. Yeah.
and she can really smack you. She can go on those boxes, play some different angles, and usually get a pick off of you and be free. So if there is someone opping, I recommend just smoking the end of C, giving you room to push up, get close, and then to flash out. You can even smoke and then or smoke CT and garage and then flash out. But pretty much that operator, you can't dry peek it. I think you're usually, if that Jet is somewhat good, they're gonna get a pick on you, and it's gonna be free for her. So just don't
Yeah.
give her that. I think it happens all the time, guys. All the time I see someone dying there. Very unfortunate for the team, for your team, but trying to avoid that is very useful. I think that's where I've been more successful on pushing C, is jump peeking it, making sure there's like knowing that there's an operator there, and then telling my teammate to smoke it, getting more room, getting as much room as you possibly can, like without exposing yourself at all. So giving you less time to run down that, the gauntlet of getting just absolutely trashed on because you're running down a hallway with no escape pretty much. So being able to get farther up is very useful, I think. Colter, do you want to cover garage?
Yeah, yeah. So I think garage is important on a C push. If you can get garage control, you can have a way better success rate on pushing C. Like Rogan said, C long can get kind of nasty just because there's nowhere to go, and you don't want to get stuck in C long. So like a full 5 man down C long can get really disgusting really fast if they happen to have 3 players there one round, or whatever the case is. So I would consider taking garage. I mean, I feel like almost on every C hit that we do, there's at least 2 players that go garage. I would send 2 players. I mean, if you're really wanting to run 4 down C long, like, you can. I don't think you're really getting more value out of that play than running double into garage. So taking garage from the opponent, they have to it just takes a lot of space from them and slows them down a lot. Like if they have garage control, their players rotating from B and A can just full on sprint with their knife out all the way to C site. Where if you have garage control yourself, even if you don't have C control, if you have garage control, it's gonna slow down your opponent a little bit, because they have to take it seriously that there could be a player in there. So even if it's just a mind game with the opponent, I think taking garage is crucial. And then this way you have access to, um, you know, catching people coming from B or A. You can catch them rotating, um, or you have access to backside too on to C itself. So um, I would say flashes are extremely helpful in garage, whether that's breach, omen, whatever it may be. Um, I don't I know there's some strategies that include like smoking out garage, but I've always found it better to run with whoever's flashing on your team. So if that's a Phoenix, I mean he can flash through the doors and then he can flash up in window. Um, Stuff like that really kind of yields the defender pretty vulnerable. Like a lot of times you're going to enter garage and where's a super popular spot right on the left side. If they're going to be playing there with a submachine gun or a shotgun, or if they're not there, they're probably going to be in window. So as soon as you clear that left corner, if one of your players clears that and you're always looking window, then you're going to have a pretty good chance at, taking garage successfully. Even if they take one of you down, hopefully your teammate can take out that player, and then now you've got garage that you can work with. You can take that hallway to C, or again, you can provide pressure to the players that are trying to rotate. So whether that's throwing mollies, to slow down the rotators or whatever it might be, you can buy your team some time. So I think taking garage is crucial on a C hit.
I think garage is very crucial too. And you can also get, like you said, you can get kind of in their spawn and take a lot of map control if you're able to push through garage through window.
Yeah.
But be careful. Garage is another, it's like a choke point, like a lot of maps we have. It's one of those choke points that if you stay there too long, you're going to get flooded with util. And you're just going to you're going to die if you stay there for too long. If
Yep.
three of you in there and a raise nade comes down, you're all going to be taking 70 damage. One of you guys is going to die. You can't really hold it very well. So be sure to push through that hallway, getting onto C quicker, and kind of time that, like Coulter was saying, like time that push with the players on C long as they're pushing out. You're pushing out a garage and kind of taking that site, having one person go through window, get more map control, get someone who's trying to rotate or that's getting pushed back.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that does see pretty well, honestly.
Yeah, I
Um
think yeah, for sure.
Again, it's just like with the flanks. Like that's what's going to be the constant variable on this map. Like if they flank you in garage or C long, you just have to watch it. Because that can just totally derail your C hit. Just like A as well. I mean, it is a threat on this map, so just
I,
always be aware of that.
I think I play default quite often too. Is that you have somebody watching A
Mhm.
short, have somebody swinging out of window, watching garage, watching C, and
Yeah.
just going with somebody, getting a trade or not. Just waiting for someone to peek out. A lot of people peek out, and you're able to get a kill, and then you have numbers at that point, and it's just a matter of time.
Yeah,
So
like
I
I
think
I
default
totally
works
agree with that. It,
well.
it does because I think the reason is, dude, is because there's always someone peeking A long, as we said, and there's always someone peeking C long, and there's very often a defender peeking on in mid too on B. So if you have better aimers, you can often get one or two of those players out of the game like fairly quickly
Yeah.
because you kind of always know that there's gonna be someone there. Like I've played games where we've killed the A long player just time after time after time, and it's like they can't help themselves. It's like they
hmm
have to peek that corner. They and it's like just habit for them. So I think default is huge too. What are your thoughts on B? Why don't you find yourself there very often?
Well, I think B is just B for me. People can, if you're committing all on B, someone can walk out of garage and get a flank on you super early. You're losing a lot of map control if you go B from flanks. Someone's pushing out a C long, someone's pushing out a A, and they're pretty much, they have all map control. You only have mid right now, surrounded by everyone. So I think B for me, the only time the I haven't really done a full push that's like worked very well for me, unless you just have better aimers. I
Yeah.
think for me, when B works is like when you're playing default and you're getting more map control, you have somebody watching flank on C, have someone watching flank on A. You're getting more mid control and you're slowly pushing up. You're almost on B site and then you commit. I think that's where it's worked well. And also having a right composition is good. Having a sage that can wall off left or right side it usually is helpful. For me, I
Yeah.
always feel like it's just people can play in a lot of areas on B, and they can usually see you really quite easy. And the util can stop a lot of plants. I know I might be one sided in my opinion on that. Do you have what's your defense against that, Coulter?
I mean, I agree that it is a madhouse. I don't really know. I think maybe where the advantage lies is because you are in the middle. It's never the retake for the enemy is going to be a little more difficult because they're not totally grouping up together. Like if you go C long and you take the site, that C player and that garage player can fall back and then they can come back at you with a 5-man retake. Whereas this way, they can't really like regroup in that same manner. You're going to have the flank potential is going to be huge. There's almost always going to be somebody, if you full on take B, there's probably going to be someone that ends up in window behind you. Um, and that's just the way it is. But I think that the opponents are more spread out. If you have B, there's going to be a couple on each side. And sometimes that's easier to handle than all of them coming from one area as a 5-man retake. So I mean that would be my only argument, maybe for B, but I often find myself going CRA as well. Um, it just seems so chaotic. Like you said, abilities can get overwhelming super fast in there, and there's really nowhere to go except kind of retreat back to window or something.
Yeah.
So like just playing in that area, I don't like playing in backside. You're one grenade away from just getting obliterated. So that's kind of my thoughts there.
Yeah, very true. I think B site as well is clearing site quickly. Is being able to clear back site and make sure no one's there, and also smoking off C link and A link, because those are obviously like the two main threats. I would say if you're able to smoke that off, it takes almost all info out. They're very tight cubbies that come through. The enemy can't really get an angle on you at all because it smokes that entire pathway. So
Yeah.
getting smokester down first and then clearing sight, you have the plant there, and then you can also back off to mid window and post plant. You have a lot of post plant there. You're able to
Right.
look onto site, look at bomb, what's going on there, and you can also cover flanks that way. Being sure that that person doesn't peek out of garage, I would just like leave someone there to watch that, make sure they aren't coming out of garage and getting that flank on you early on too.
Yeah.
Those are my final thoughts on B. You want to move on to defending?
Yeah, sure, dude. Let's do defending A and why don't you start us off again?
Defending A, I like defending A. I do peek A long quite a bit, and also do take peeks A short. Being able to get the early info is really nice. If Cypher or Omen isn't smoking A lobby off to stop that info being gathered, if someone's pushing A short, if they're not smoking that off, you can always peek that and just see if they're going to come A or not. Are they flashing out, or are they running A short? If you can see someone's running A short, you can either back off and then you provide that info to your teammates. They know they're coming A short. You have Sage Wall or whatever. I think it's a good source of early info is all I should say. If you're peeking that, be sure not to stick out too far because people are going to expect you to be there, so they can get a pick on you quite easily. But I sometimes play an off angle there, and then I can kind of see if they're going to push out or not. And I can sometimes get a pick and then back off. If someone's pushing A short really quickly, though, they're going to be able to cut you off before you can get to safety, and you're going to die by that A short player. If your teammate's playing A short, then you'll know that he'll be able to protect you there.
Yeah.
I avoid playing Hell. I think that the two main areas I play would be A long and Heaven for me. Heaven is a nice area because you can look at anyone coming from A long, and at short you have two areas of info, two areas of peeking. Throwing util down from Heaven is quite nice, but be aware if you're playing Heaven and they take site, it's very hard to take A back. It's very
Yeah.
hard because Heaven, you have to jump out and you're sacrificing yourself. or there's CT, which everyone's going to expect you there to be there, or there's a flank, which is sometimes hard to do if you're waiting for time. So
Yep.
those are the two areas I play. I think backing off, you can definitely get trapped on A site quite easily. I would start playing different cubbies. The cubbies are nice because it's just like if you're playing this one angle the entire 6 rounds, seventh round play a weird angle, play a cubby. Some people they do miss one cubby, and you're able to get a kill from there, and you're able to get an off angle on the enemy. And if they aren't taking A short, you can push up A short, get a flank on them from A long.
Yep.
Coulter, talk to me.
Um, yeah, dude. Defending, I for some reason I never really defend on A short. I don't know why. I'm very similar to you. I find myself A long. I like to take that initial peek, even if it's just for info. And then I often retreat to heaven as well. The only issue with going to heaven is gonna kind of depend on what character you are, what agent you're playing. Um, like you said, it's nice to throw util from there, but if you're an agent that doesn't have any util to throw, um, then that isn't going to be the spot for you because 90% of the time you're going to be smoked out.
Yeah.
What is nice is shots just through the smoke from heaven are a really big threat to the attackers because the players coming from A long are just in such a tight corridor that your bullets are going to actually have decent odds of doing some damage. So even if you are smoked out in heaven, you're not totally out of the defense. But like you with Rays, it's like if you hear him planning, you can just rip a grenade down there and delay that, even if you are smoked out. So I think you know whatever agent you are kind of depends on maybe where you want to play. Spending a little bit of time on Reyna, I like to spend more time. I'll peek A long. Okay, yeah, they're all here. And then I'll play on site because you can kind of play around that big box area, with the dismiss and whatnot. So whatever agent you're playing, just, try and really use that to your advantage. Um, I think, I mean, just as far as defense, I would just place a player like Rays there. It does seem hard without utility to really stop an A push. Um, unless you just get picks really early on. It's easy for the attackers to throw a lot of util at you on A, and there's no really place to run unless you're totally ditching the site.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, if they get on the site and you're like, where are you gonna, you can't really be dodging around much on site. Like I mentioned, if I'm playing on site around that box, I mean that's only gonna last for so long because they're gonna just send players on both sides of that and end up killing me that way. So I would suggest, I mean, put a player on there that can really stall, that can really buy you some time via mollies or the sage wall, whatever that might be. Just if you can send a like Viper, if you can send a molly on A short and a molly on A long, that's going to give your B player at least time to get there. So I think just stalling, like I was playing a match, I was Reyna, and then we had a Jet playing short. She was playing A short defense, I was playing A long on defense, and we just got pushed back really quickly. I mean, there's nothing we could really do to delay. So we were like heading towards heaven, and they just fully took control of the site because we were just getting flashed and mollied, etc. So we had to totally get out of there. They took the site super quick, and then it's not really easy to retake A. So I'd be careful of just letting the team have A for free, because there is so many cubbies that you got to check that if they have a 5 man, if they're holding it down 5 man on A, it's going to be a difficult retake, especially considering, heaven is going to be smoked. So you basically have to come through CT or you're going to have to flank them through their spawn. That takes a lot of time, but you almost have to do a split because if you're all coming from your own spawn, I mean, it gets nasty pretty quickly in that little corridor.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I hate retaking A.
I don't like retaking
So
it either.
it just feels nasty. I mean, there's that, even if you make it through the hallway, even if you make it through the mollies, there's going to usually be a player on the tight right, but then you're open to hell as well.
You're
And
open to a
so
lot. Yeah.
you're open to a ton. So I feel like, if you can, this is the site for me to hold it off as long as you can.
Uh
Um,
huh. And also,
in my
if
opinion.
you are playing heaven, you're giving them a lot of sight. So like, if you don't feel like you're doing much heaven, and if you're spraying through that smoke, it's gonna give them info where you're at, so they could spray you down. If you're dying a lot in heaven, try to go for a flank.
Yeah.
Try to go for an early flank, and being able to get that map control, go from a different angle. Because like CT, it's extremely hard.
Yeah.
So avoiding like them just killing you from heaven or in heaven is nice. And like it's I think it's a very hard site to retake.
Yeah.
I agree
That's
with you
how I
completely.
always feel. What about C, dude? What are your thoughts on defending C? Do you like it? Do you ever go there? What's the story there for you?
Well, I think like I think every site on Haven or A and C are very hard to retake. In my like I think it's just
Yeah.
there's like they can lock it down pretty easily if they're able to get on site and they're able to get established, being able to clear the entire plant area, and they can just hold angles. Um, I do like retaking it more than A, I would say. For C, I if I'm playing an operator, I will be opping C long. Catch me there, and you will die because it's such an easy spot. You there's one angle that they can peek from, and if they're peeking it every time, you can usually get a kill there if they aren't smoking it or whatnot. I sometimes play in those that main box in the middle of sight, peeking on that right side of the box. If I'm Omen, I'll play that backside of C where I was saying I'll nade it if I'm attacking. But with Omen, you can just TP onto the middle of sight and get away quite easy. You're just able to get a different angle on them. C, you can be on top of boxes, down below, closer, farther away, on top of those boxes, on the other side. And you're able to take these different small angles that you can play off of to get that info so they aren't expecting you
Yeah.
to be there every round.
Yep.
So just trying to catch them off guard that way. If you're also playing like an agent with util, you don't have to be peeking it. Like a Sova, he can just stand behind on site and just throw an arrow if he thinks they're gonna be there or whatnot. Because if you're pushing up C, there's no way that you can get away from something like that. You're gonna either have to commit or after you're gonna have to push back. And
Yep.
also C long, if they do smoke it, you can shoot through smoke as well and possibly get some damage, possibly get a lucky headshot. So I definitely find that quite useful. And then one thing that I look out for defending C is that if they push through garage really quickly, there's not much things you can do because they have like two areas they're gonna come from on C. Come from they're gonna come from garage, they're gonna come from C long, they're gonna commit hard, they're gonna flash out, and then you're getting kind of wrecked by two different areas, and it's hard to stay alive quite long. So you're gonna die there, I think, if you don't have garage control. Being able to get garage control or just having someone there, getting a pick there is very useful. If you're only playing on C long, like don't give up garage, I would say. Oh, try
Yeah.
to have somebody on garage just to give you intel to make sure like that's not being taken freely. Throwing util in garage, like I said, it's a huge choke point. You can really flush people out and get a kill. So if they do take garage, either back off, throw some util down, try to get some damage out at least, and then play back and play for retake. Um, Try to play retake with your team here. I think it's crucial. Like if there's an omen can blind all of sight right when they plant, and you're able to push some people off. And trying to commit all at once is very useful on retaking it. It's very similar to A. Coulter, do you have any spots that you play?
Um, I like to peek out of garage doors like right off the rip, right at the beginning of the round. You can only do it like once or twice a game, but usually that'll lead to a kill just because they're not expecting someone to be that audacious. So, like if you have an op again, I think C I almost prefer to see the op on C over A. That's just my opinion. I think that, C, the op, like we said earlier, it just thrives. You're just feeding on everyone, like in the whole C vicinity. Even in garage, I mean, take a pick out of garage, like peek the doors, get a pick in grass, and then now you can go to site and still maybe catch some players coming on a slow C long push. Like either way, I feel like the op is effective here. So I like to take that peek once or twice a game out of garage. If I defend C, it feels like I usually go for garage. I just feel like C I feel like garage, even on defense, there's just such a place for flashes, and I'm never a flash character really. I just think that you can do a ton of damage out a window if you can flash the opponent. So I'll play C long um, on defense if no one wants to take that position. And like you, I'm usually playing on site. If garage is taken from you, like Rogan already said, basically you not much you can do there. You're gonna have to back off and just try and survive. I mean, a last ditch effort is going to logs, and then eventually that you're just on a timer at that point, and you're hoping to get one trade out of there. But really, not much to add, dude. Like I think on C long, I go aggressive at times, and I try to get in the C long cubby. Like if they go a slow C, you can sometimes get into C long cubby and catch a few players off there. But like I mean, as you can tell, most of my strategies are just these things that you can do once or twice a game. And then apart from that, I mean, it's just pretty standard. Like I just play on site on C. You can play on the right side of those boxes, get an early peek there, and then just start calling for help because you're most likely going to be smoked and they're dashing on.
Yeah.
So
Dude, like finding like a bunch of different little things that you can do on each site is huge. It's just switching it up, guys. Switch it up
you
every
have
round.
to,
You have to switch it
yeah,
up.
you have to
Don't
switch
play
it up.
the exact same site every time. Try to switch it up as best you can. It's gonna
And
help out a lot.
often, and
Yeah, and do it
often.
often. For sure. I completely agree.
Craxel, cheer to one biddy. Let's go.
Let's go, Croxel.
Thanks, Craxel. We appreciate you, brother.
Um, Keep in
But
mind
yeah,
on C is that when you are C, if you're defending it and there's breach on your team or a smoker, you can smoke the opposite side of C long, and you can get that C long hallway control also and be aggressive on C long if they aren't coming C. You can get map control easy that way, and you're able to start a flank or start a push with another ally.
yeah,
And also on every site, this goes for all maps, but I think on Haven especially, since there are 3 sites, if you see there's like 3 guys A, and you think they're all going A, you're defending, and you see 3 enemies A, they aren't on site yet. Don't fully rotate. I would have one person anchor quite often, because a lot of the times I over rotate on Haven, and they're able to walk up C long without making any noise. And then soon enough, I come on A, no one's there. They're planning on C, and they have all map control, and you're really screwed.
you're
Because
Yoinky
you
in
have
that
no
situation.
intel, and you have to all play retake. It's a 4v5 at that point,
Yeah,
and you're probably not going to be able to take it. So I would say be careful on over rotating, and B even. People walk up mid, and people walk up A long. Like I think a lot of the times on Haven, I'll usually get surprised where people are being, because they just they pushed late round. They pushed at a weird time, and when I thought they were going to push on A.
yeah.
B site last.
Um, man, I'm never defending B ever. Usually, like a Sage will go there or the Cipher if they're on the team. That's what I've normally seen in my low elo ranked games. And I don't play either of those characters, so I'm very often not there. It seems like the Sage on defense will often wall B and just take it out of the question. I don't know, if this is a very smart strategy or not. Again, I'm in these low elo lobbies, so it's hard for me to really get a good grasp on how to defend B. I think someone with mobility, like when I was playing Jet, I would find myself in B at times, getting on top of the boxes. on that right side. If you're defending B, you can find some opportunity there to slap some kids around if they're not expecting it. Again, this is going to be, you know, once or twice a game. You're not going to be able to do this over and over. I think the operator can find some value in mid. That peek and window is super common. The attackers are often going to peek out a window just to see what's going on in mid. And so I think, if you have a cracked out op player and they've been playing A and C, throw them on mid for a round and let them do some damage there is what I would say. Apart from that, I mean, it's just going to be a retake situation very often because it's not uncommon that they're going to push out your one player on B. It's going to be easy for them to do that. I think there is some opportunity to flank out of garage, like send your garage player if they're going for a full 5-man B push. I mean, they have to check window if you're going to do this, but I mean, I've seen some rounds where someone quickly swings out of garage and can easily get one or two if they're, really hyper focused and committed to a mid push.
Yeah, very true. And if like I'm on A and I see that they push B, I'll usually go for a flank and be able to get as much map control as possible. Because if they're doing a full push, you can push up C long, A long, and I think
Yeah.
map control is very easy to take then and take
Yep.
advantage of that, guys. Being able to get into window while they're on B, you have complete sight of where people are, and you can usually get a flank on that. Some person could be anchoring, someone's going to be watching flank or something. So just be aware of that, but being able to put pressure on the enemy as they're pushing B, I think is very important because if I'm on A, they take B, and I rotate to to B, that's smoked, and I'm gonna probably be waiting that smoke out. So I'm not gonna be doing much there.
Yeah.
I might be able to push out, but it's extremely hard because you're kind of in that choke point. So helping your teammate to relieve that pressure on those links is very important on A link
Yeah.
or C link.
And try and play with your teammates here. Like your players on C, try and coordinate with your players on A so you can kind of hit both sides at the same time. It's so often that, I see players, they just charging through, like you said, there's a smoke on A link. They're just charging through, even with flashes, etc. It's gonna be hard if there's four enemies in that tight little room.
Yeah,
um, even if you flash them and take one down, it's not going to be very often that you just wipe their whole team in that situation. So try and coordinate. If you are going to be playing, in the either A link or C link, just try and communicate with your team and let some utility in. Let the breach clear out backside or, whatever the case is, let your sky get the flashes in, send the dog in for info. You just have to because if you're just going wild and just charging through, it's just I've almost never seen that strategy work. So just be careful of that. And like you said, having a window player, having someone rotate and get a flank on them is huge because it's very common for an attacker to then play post plant kind of in that window area or in that mid area. So I think that that's a really good idea to get a flank on them, either one or two players.
yeah, yeah, for sure. That kind of covers it for B, man. I don't have too much to add. I personally
Phan-
don't play B that much. Like I
Phantom or
said,
Vandal on the map
I would say,
on attack.
wow, that's hard.
I know.
Dude, it's so funny how often I switch, man. Like with
Me too.
everything, I'm just like
But
Phantom's
what would you
so good at spraying, but the Vandal.
what would you tell an Iron new player?
I
Just
would say
general.
Phantom. I would say Phantom on Haven.
Okay.
I think, man, because once you get on site, once you're taking that
Yeah.
site, I think
Mhm.
a lot of angles you'll be spraying.
Yep.
Or you can spray. You're not really taking like long fights very often. It's usually like maybe a small portion of time in that push or when you're
Yeah.
defending.
Yeah. Haven is actually super hard. There's opportunities for both, isn't
Yeah,
there?
yeah. I
But
think like
I
if you're
yeah.
pushing B, you're pushing garage. Like I think you're gonna be finding close fights.
Yep.
Being able to wall bang with the Vandal is kind of nice because I'm able to like
Yeah.
expect where people are and get more damage.
Right.
Do you shoot through those walls on B garage?
On the walls that you can
I mean,
break on
yeah, the
garage?
walls that you can break on garage.
I have before, yeah.
So there's a
You
lot of people who Odin that. A lot of
yeah,
people will spray you down if you're playing window on B on garage. So if you're
just
playing
round after
garage a lot,
round.
just be careful with that.
Yeah.
Sometimes they can blast through that.
Well,
A
because
big one,
they'll get multiple Odins on it, and you don't
yeah.
really have time to react. Like,
Hmm.
all of a sudden that door is broken and there's bullets flying through,
Yeah.
so
And also, guys, if you are defending B, you can also wallbang where they would peek from window, and you can usually get a kill there with an Odin. I know people play there with an Odin. They absolutely smack people. I've been wallbanging it with like sometimes, not all, and not every round, just to be unpredictable, but I'll be usually seeing like 50 damage done to someone, and even like the littles of damage is going to help. So if you
yeah.
wallbang that early, you might be able to get a kill even. I've gotten a couple kills there, but I think wallbanging on Haven, there's a lot of opportunities for that as well.
Yeah, agree.
I think that covers it. We
You can wall
covered.
bang window from A long, almost got killed one time. Yeah, that's interesting. You know what? I Fred, I've seen this on a TikTok. A guy put an op shot. Have you seen that, Rogan?
Yeah,
If
yeah,
you
I have.
Dude, and he just lands the kill. Like, there's all these weird like wall bangs that you can do that I would just never imagine. But yeah, that's insane. Um, man, any other thoughts on Haven? It's so hard. It's tough. I mean, it's like I wish that we could say, hey, this agent composition works great on Haven. But it's like there's so many
Yeah,
different
and
compositions that
in
work
the
that it's
end,
like,
I think every composition's gonna work.
yeah, that's where I land on that topic too.
Smokes are
I mean,
obviously very important.
I
Um,
mean, yeah, I think it's kind of general knowledge at this point that, a little mix of everything is probably good. Um, I know when we first started doing these reviews, you know, we kind of took that approach of, giving maybe a player like an agent composition for these maps, but I think that, I mean, it's just the meta is in such a blender that it's like who knows what's good. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
whatever works for you. So
yeah, very true. Uh-huh.
I mean, smokes are pretty much necessary on every map, I feel like, if you're really trying to win, but that's just my opinion. But anything else to add on Haven, brother?
I think that covers it.
Me too, man. Um is that it for the podcast?
Guys, I think that's it. I think we covered Haven. We covered the new map Breeze here. I'm excited.
Um
Excited for a new map, obviously. New battle pass is great. Coulter, are you ready to close her up?
I think so, man. Maybe, if we wrap this up now, we can get another round in on Breeze, potentially. So, just want to thank everybody that's been here. I don't know who has lasted the duration. I don't know who has been here for 147 minutes outside of Lingo. He's a squire, so I expect him to be here. Um, but we appreciate you guys. Thanks for the Prime subscription to Dogi and the others that have donated. So hopefully if you guys keep it up, I can quit my job sooner than I think. One bit at a time, baby. So that's all I got. I hope everyone has a good week.
Well said, Coulter. We both hope you guys have an amazing week. We'll see you next Tuesday at 7 p.m. live. Flow_state_gaming. And yeah, it would be amazing if someone is here. Someone has stayed this long. Lingo, thanks again for your commitment. Here's a shout out to you again, brother. Lingo is also a sexy streamer on Twitch. You can catch him there. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been listening to the Flow State Gaming Podcast, episode 26, Act 3, and also Haven. Hope you guys have an amazing week again. See you guys next time. Bye.
Bye. Wow, guys. We did it.
How do we even make it through? That's my question.
I'm not really sure, man.
Not gonna lie, Coulter, I was on the verge of throwing up there, dude.
Dude, how are you feeling? Are you gonna throw up now?
It's kind of passing, but dude, like when we were starting, I was like fading, like fat, like I was like dripping sweat, and like I was on the verge of throwing up, like verge, like the closest you could come.
Really?
Yeah, like I'm kind of surprised that I held it in that much.
Dude, it would have been kind of nice to have a live Ralph. Can you imagine?
Dude, imagine the clip. Or like you're just talking and I'm just on like just quiet and then boom, like on the webcam.
My.
Oh,
dude, it's just there's like piece of corn and like a piece of kale just hanging off of your mic.
Dude, okay, stop. That's just gross, dude.
That's awful.
Yeah, you're filthy.
With the mirror POV, yeah, exactly. You get the back shot.
Oh wow, you just get it over the monitors too? Be nice.
Guys, as you noticed, it's now sunlight. Like it's daytime when we're starting the podcast, and then it fades
I know.
into night.
I kind of like that, dude.
Kind of a nice effect.
It kind of brings us into the after party too. It's
well,
like
I know.
You've stayed this long, you've watched the sun go down.
Yeah, now it's time to get real here.
Get dirty.
Fred, thanks, brother. Glad to see you here. Lingo, again, thanks, brother. Being here as always. Midnight and 15. Where are you from,
dude? Why is every person from the East Coast?
It's actually
dude.
Insane.
We need to run it earlier.
I know we need to run it earlier for you, boys,
guys.
Don't we?
Coulter needs like one more subscriber, and he's quitting his job.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, right. Not Quebec. Okay.
Wow. Nice. Canada.
That's very nice.
Quite nice.
All my family is up in Canada, so let's see. I'm making a new folder. Lingo, get us another sub, dude. Get out there. Yeah, TikTok is not for the faint of heart. It'll definitely ram you.
I see Kyrie and Jordan are in the chat. They haven't talked, but I think they're going hidden right now. I'm calling them out right now. I know I hate it too.
That sucks. I was wondering why we got that little 2 viewer bump there.
No. Hey Lingo, we would appreciate if you were on our TikTok.
I know.
We don't really want to hear it, you know.
Take your addiction over to us.
Yeah.
It's like,
what got you into this TikTok addiction? I feel like this is some new stuff here. You watch them? Well, have you liked all of them, huh?
Have you commented? Have you shared to 18 people? Didn't
exactly.
Think so.
No, you haven't.
You watched them. Even my dead grandma can watch them.
Oh my gosh.
I'm joking. That's not appropriate.
Well, yeah.
Both my never mind. One grandma has passed for sure, but guys, if you like can see your grandparents. I would suggest seeing them as much as possible. Just saying.
Hey, Dogi, LMAO, if you're still here, thank you again, man. You followed and you subscribed, and that's really nice of you. We really do
I know.
appreciate it.
Is Dogi a fellow Dogi investor? That's what I really want to know.
Yeah. I'm always curious on how he found the podcast. If he's a family member like the 80% of our audience is.
Yeah, exactly. Or if he's a wildling.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Boys in the chat, who is in for an unrated on Breeze?
Are the girls here, dude?
Are the girls here? Yeah.
They are?
Well, I don't know. But
No.
we need a rally. All right, Lingo, I'm glad you're here. We are very glad. We need some more boys though. Fred, talk to us. How you feeling? Hey, I don't want to hear it.
Oh my gosh.
You're tired and you're working in 7 hours, but you want to play a match. You want to be with the boys. Shoot. Hey, Coulter.
Yes.
Fred is so close from being in. One lip bite from you could seal the deal right here.
Come here, Fred.
Stop.
Oh, shoot.
Stop. Oh my gosh, dude.
Oh my
wow.
goodness.
Oh my
Fred,
goodness.
What did I just do to you, dude?
Fred, you are a changed man.
Fred, do you want to play a match? Oh, I can't even do it, dude. Yikes. That's sus.
Yeah. 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 To say the least.
How do you spell Haven?
Haven?
Yeah.
Haven.
Okay.
All right, we'll open up in a little bit. Give me a second here.
I sent you that
What's that?
do we want to play tomorrow night? Maybe a little earlier? Yeah, I would probably be down. I think I can fit in a match tomorrow.
Wednesday?
Wednesdays are tough, but I might
Wednesdays
be able
are
to swing
tough.
one. Did you add us yet, Fred? I'll put my stuff down here.
Your OnlyFans in the chat.
Yeah. Okay, dude. I think that's it. I sent the bio to the Discord.
Sweet. Did you upload your thing?
Yes, it's in there.
Awesome. Is Kyrie? I'm confused.
Talk to me.
I don't know if the girls are here or not. Either they're scared to talk or all right, boys. Fred, I'll be able to play tomorrow night. Thank you for stopping by, man. We really appreciate it.
And there it is.
There it is. Yeah, I did not want to see that.
Fred, thanks for everything, brother. We appreciate you, doggy. we'll see you next time, and maybe tomorrow. Just add me there on Valorant. That's my data. So thanks, guys. We will see you on the next pod.
I'm gonna keep the stream up, I think, Coulter, but I will cut